Hello everyone and welcome back to the BBBR Racing Championship. We're on Season 3, Round 6. We're here in Spain and I'm here with Jonny, who's co-commentating with me today. Will couldn't be here because he actually fancied racing so much that he's racing today in the league. So we're actually going to be able to, instead of talk to him in the commentary box, we're going to be able to talk about him when he's racing on the racetrack. We've done that in a few community nights so far, but it's going to be great to see how he compares against the regulars when it comes to league racing again. Jonny, what do you expect to see tonight for the racing?
I'm not sure how much practice people have got in, so probably going to see people take it a bit easier on the first couple of laps. But obviously we got some new people in, I believe.
We have, you're absolutely right. We have had a new reschedule to how we get new drivers in the league. Before we'd kind of have like an ad hoc testing, but we wanted to try and vet them a little bit more formally. So now we've implemented shakedown races. So before the race on a Sunday, we'll get all the drivers that are new and some of them that are old, and we'll form up a full grid of a 25% race. Get them to race together, and we'll basically test if they're a good fit for our league. And that's not just through racing clean, that's through racing fairly and also being respectful. We've had a few issues lately, and it's kind of the reason we've taken a week off. Also coinciding with Her Majesty the Queen's funeral, we took a week off, and we've had some issues we've been suffering with ourselves, with some basically poor respect within our community, and we had to take a break because of it. But hopefully this restructuring and any plan we have going forwards will counteract that. So we have these shakedown races to get some new drivers in, and tonight we have Opa and Buck, who have shown great promise in the shakedown race. But also, because of that break that we have got, usually the coverage we have before qualifying is race highlights. So usually we go through the race highlights from the previous race. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to do that for you on time. And then we also do the Hotlap challenge, which we haven't managed to do. So we're really sorry about that. And it's also another reason why we're a little bit later than we usually schedule of 8 PM. But that does mean that we're going to go straight into qualifying and straight into the race as well. And then hopefully we'll have normal running order in the next few weeks to come. I say hopefully because we need the team to do that. But yeah, we've still got a championship to run. We've still got 3 drivers who are at the top. But can you remember who's at the top? Because I think it was James, Thomas, and Logan.
Yes, I believe it might have been. I can't remember the results from Miami, but last time I was aware of the championship order, it was Thomas leading it. So it's out of those 3. It's Logan, Thomas, or Tadpole. And again for pole now, it's going to be between those 3. I think they're all unbelievably close in terms of pace and consistency. So the last couple of minutes of qualifying should get pretty spicy.
Well, let's head on down and see how they're doing. They're currently on track at the moment. We do have James Simmons, who is currently on a provisional pole position with, I believe, his first flying lap. And then we have 2 McLarens lining up in 2nd and 3rd. We've seen a strong performance from them before in Australia, I believe, when they lined up 1 and 2. Unfortunately, they couldn't transfer that into 1 and 2 in the race. But then we've got Alex back. Alex back, P4, ahead of his fellow rival in the Ferrari, Logan Watts.
Yeah, that first lap by Tadpole, that's quite a lap to set on your first attempt, and we know it's about a second or so off their time trial time, so there's definitely more in it. I think again because of the lack of practice, they're just kind of warming up to setting those 1/16s.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think we have it's definitely that time where the pressure is on, and you have so many drivers that want to capitalise on the speed that they know they can do.
I want to go to 10th quicker.
And he goes 10th quicker, just as I said that. But yeah, you want to go as fast as you can. Sorry, I'm trying to just put Buck in P5, one of our new drivers, ahead of Logan Watt in the championship. Sorry, not ahead of Logan Watt in the championship, ahead of Logan Watt in qualifying. But Logan, who is ahead in the championship. So, what I was going to say is, every driver wants to capitalise on their qualifying performance. And you've got such a limited time to be able to do that. And it causes mistakes. We end up seeing corner cutting. And I think we've seen it a lot with Matt Quinton. But right now he's put it up in P3, which is great to see. Maybe he's about to set his championship alight.
Yeah, like I said, I think people are starting to get into that groove now, where they're getting to the flow of the track and, like I say, learning where the limits are. And I think that is down to people not having much time to practice.
And what are the limits around this circuit? You've driven this, we can all see as viewers, you've got the great setup. But I mean, trust me, he sent me a picture of his rig. His Fnatic setup is insane. I presume you've driven Spain on many sims. Given the car, whether it's open wheel, whether it's GT, what are the common occurrences?
The common occurrences is your front left tyre is always roasting by the end of sector 2. So, because you've got two very high-speed corners, which again, it's putting a lot of pressure on that front left. So, you're usually getting a lot of temperature in that, which can cause you problems in the last sector, especially where you need a lot of mechanical grip. Slow corners. So, I mean, all the time, a lot of the time is in the first kind of 3 corners, because you need to set yourself up perfectly for that fast right-hander to then carry the speed onto the straight. And again, with the second fast right-hander, you need to set yourself up perfectly so you can open up the corner as much as possible, otherwise you're going to lose so much time on the straight.
And we got sector 3, so you're talking about sector 1 and 2, very high speed parts off the circuit, and then coming into sector 3, it's a very low speed section. How do you tackle that really slow section compared to the fast? Because when you're setting up your car, are you setting up to go really fast in the really fast sections, or would you rather compromise and make sure you've got a lot of stability into the chicane?
I'd go for more of a balanced setup rather than kind of more downforce or more top end speed. The reason for that is because I think like I say, you need the downforce to be the first couple sectors, and if you don't have that, then you kind of have to take everything a lot slower. And yeah, that might be good for the straights, but you want to be able to keep the tyres alive as well, because lower downforce setups mean there's more slip on the tyres, meaning that you're heating them up, wearing them quicker. So you got
how much of a factor will that play into the race as well?
Well, I was talking to some drivers earlier, and they were talking about how they only did about 7 laps and they're already on 20% wear on the higher tyres. So I think it's going to be a 2-stop, but with safety cars it could be even more people trying to be on the fresher tyres.
Amazing. I don't want to cut you off just there, but we've got Buck, who's one of our new drivers. Seeing him come through sector 1, he was only 500ths, I believe, off the pole time. Let's see the rest of his lap.
Yep, so coming into that second last left, hit pace at Apex, lovely. Yep. This corner is a very tricky corner now.
It's new, it's reprofiled. How is it different to what we had before?
You have to take it a lot slower than you think you would. Bit of oversteer there. Hopefully you can still recover. Yeah, it's a tricky corner because you think you have to. Oh no, and he's round. Shame that was looking.
That is a huge shame. Lap. He was on a great lap, great first sector, at least very conveniently placed next to the pit lane. So he can return there. But we're going to test out a new feature, actually. Would you like to see that again?
You have to take it a lot slower.
Yeah,
let's see that again.
I hope we have to
there.
play. And it has also got our faces all over it. And I hope there's not 2 layers of video over it, but we are.
It's a tricky corner because you think you have to.
Oh
no, and he's round. You have to take it a lot.
We saw the event. I mean, I say we've got this new instant replay feature. You can't see it, unfortunately. That's the really annoying thing. I need to be able to find a way of showing you what we're seeing on that. But anyway, whilst we figure that out, we're on board now with Thomas Hunter, who's going for his attempt at pole position. It's going to be one of his last. We've only got 1 minute 30 left in the session. This is his flying lap as well, I believe.
AlphaTauri off the grass there.
That is, I believe, our fellow regular commentator as well, doing a great job by showing his great skill of the circuit. But yeah, there's currently a 700th gap between first and second, and that's not with this McLaren, that is with Matt Quinton. I wonder what Thomas Hunter can do too.
Unfortunately I can't see how the delta on his dashboard. I can't see how.
Neither can I. I didn't even see the sector times either. But as he crosses the line, 1,000th behind his teammate.
Oh,
that is close.
I think
that is ever so close.
I think that's the closest we've ever seen this in this league between teammates.
We have. I mean, as well, I was about to mention earlier, we've had so many close qualifying times between drivers, especially Thomas Hunter and Tadpole at James Simmons. But we've never quite had, like you say, that inter-team rivalry, apart from the boys in blue in the Alpines in a race, but never in qualifying. 1,000th! That was insane.
That is.
But yet again, Thomas Hunter and James
close.
Simmons split by such a small margin. I wonder how that will affect things going into the race.
Well, it's about who gets a better start as well. Obviously, in this game now, you get a free choice of tyres that you start on.
I don't want to cut you off just quickly. We've got Alex crossing the line. Who goes fourth? Ah, what an anticlimactic way to end his qualifying lap. But a very great qualifying position from him, with all things considered. I think the only person we've got left is Logan, who is currently a 10th up. He's in a very low position of 7th at the minute. That will not help his championship bid. Tuning in with him several times, I've seen a lot of red track maps, which makes me think he's gone wide or he's cut a corner accidentally. Obviously, he's not trying to cheat, and what we don't want to do is see that happen again. We don't want an invalidated lap time. We want to see him at the top with the 2 championship rivals. Let's see where he can put it in the final sector. Tackles that corner well, picks up the throttle. You want to just don't hit the yellow curb, unsettle the car. Don't hit any of these yellow curbs actually, and don't run too wide. Straighten up the car for maximum traction. You can go flat around here, it's barely a corner for these cars at all. Open the DRS, and he crosses the line for 7th. Another anticlimactic end to the lap.
He must have lost time.
18.0 is what he got, which we've got 17.0 as the current pole position time, which we completely missed. So 700 between the top 3, and now 3/10. So James Simmons got an absolutely magnificent time in for such a commanding pole position.
I think it's going to be interesting to see if we see any interesting strategies from the boys in blue, the Alpines.
I think you're right, but let's just quickly go through qualifying positions whilst they're here on the screen. We always do them too late. In pole position for the race, we've got James Simmons, followed by Matt Quinton, then Thomas Hunter in 3rd, Alex Stopp, the leading Aston Martin, in 4th. Buck in the Mercedes, great position for him, debut season, 5th, Sniper 6th, Logan in a disappointing position in 7th, Opa, great show in 8th, Venus, and then our resident commentary box member rounding out the top 10. So, what are you looking forward to seeing in the race? You said the boys in blue and their strategy. Do you think they're going to do something different? What is the strategy for this race?
Well, the strategy, like I say, the front left wears incredibly quickly. So it's either you try and run it as quickly as possible and stop more often, or you take it easier on the tyres, but risk losing time and kind of falling backwards. So I think its management is more important than ultimate lap time. And the track limits around this track are also incredibly harsh. So
That's true.
again,
Do you think we'll see a lot of penalties rack up?
I think we will, especially on especially in the second sector. It's quite easy to run wide in any of those corners.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off there because we are going to the track. We're going for the race. 3, 4 lights, 5 lights, and they're out, and the race is on. We're going for a run down into turn 1. Don't worry if you missed it the first time round. We're gonna be able to see it second time round with an instant replay feature. But one of the McLarens gets a great start, already past James Simmons by the first corner. No challenge there with a Mercedes up into third. Luckily, throughout all of that, we've got Aston Martin in Alex Stock in fourth. And a McLaren off. Gina has an awful start.
But we've got the Ferraris battling out as well, I think.
We've had such a strong qualifying position from both the McLarens, but we've got the Ferraris that are closest together in 5th and 7th. Venus into 6th place from absolutely nowhere. I wonder where strategy has played its part here, because what tyres are these guys running? All of them are mediums, apart from Josh and Opa, who are both on hards, looking to run long into this race. But as we end into the second sector, James Simmons is looking all over the back of Thomas Hunter, finding a way round. Not finding it this time, but Buck is all over the back, hounding him as we go around this corner in sector 3.
Buck is up into P3. That's a great start by him, especially on his debut race.
Absolutely, we had a great shakedown race before where I think he was challenging Alex Stopp, one of our championship contenders. So I definitely think he's got a point to prove here. We've also, in the past, had poor luck from Mercedes with drivers having to pull out. Josh has done an absolute solid job, currently sat in 10th. I wonder if his strategy will pay off. But it's great to see a Mercedes in the top 3.
Yeah, it's interesting to see people starting on the hard tyre. I thought everyone would go for medium to have a bit more pace in the open stint, but no, maybe they're going to try and weigh it out. Maybe wait for a safety car.
Maybe a session best by James Simmons as he's almost pushing Thomas Hunter around that hairpin. Here we get a really tough section up the hill to your blind crest on the right. I wonder if we're going to see him pull off a move down the straight. He's almost...
DRS for the first 3 laps.
Good point, yet no DRS assistance here, but it looks like he's going to try it on the brakes.
Almost runs a little bit wide, maybe he can have the inside into the next corner. And he does indeed. Tadpole just hanging on around the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact there. I wonder if the Mercedes of Buck will fancy some of that. He's just looking behind, isn't he, waiting to mop up the pieces.
Great, and that is the predicted pit stop strategy then, a 1-stop or a 2-stop. So if you're on the 1-stop, which I think most of them will be going for, it's quite a long pit lane, starting on the mediums and going straight to hards. Or, alternatively, what we can see is hards that will probably go into mediums. However, a safety car might throw that spanner into the works there. I tell you what, I really want to go back and have a look at that race start again, but I will just tune in with the action here because I feel like we're going to miss an overtake.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And also, the best spectator of all, bar us two obviously, is Buck. He's got a front row seat at this colossal battle between James Simmons and Thomas Hunter. DRS open on this lap though. We're going to ride on board, see if he can get close enough. He went for the inside last lap. He's going to go for the outside this lap.
Thomas pushes him just a little bit wide.
What are your thoughts? Sorry, carry on.
If they keep fighting the way they are, they're gonna lose a hell of a lot of time. And like I say, Buck is just sitting here. He's waiting for the opportunity to open.
You're right as well, and that is not just in terms of lap time. That's battery usage. These guys could be fighting you know,
Tampol's already down to 40% battery.
And what have we got Thomas Hunter on? Is he on more or less?
He's on a bit more. He's on 64.
Okay. But yeah, like you say, we could be seeing battery usage here. But Logan, up into P5 from P7, I believe his was a starting position. I don't imagine his teammate would have made it too hard. And Venus, I don't even know where he came from. But even so, Will Geraghty in P8 from starting P10. He's doing the commentary box a solid job here by putting it in the points. If you were James, what would your strat be? Would you want to get past Thomas as fast as you can and then gain that lead?
They're so evenly matched at this point in the race. It'd be interesting to see whose setup is harsh on the tyres, but I think you'd kind of want to be out as long as possible, especially again when battling each other, because you want the fresher tyres at every stage in the race. So if Thomas pits first, you go a lap after.
And yeah, you're right. And as they grade fastest lap times, that gap becomes closer and closer. Under 3/10 going into the first corner. I don't think you're going to see it here. Following very closely. I don't even know if there are any other battles going out on track. I'm so invested in this one. As we say, box spin! No, what a great start we'd seen to his debut race. Hopefully he can pull it back, but
yeah, that's a big shame.
Not this time. So what I'm going to quickly do is I want to take us to the down into turn 1. Don't worry if you missed it the first time round. We're going to be able to see it second time round with an instant replay feature. But one of the McLarens gets a great start, already past James Simmons by the first corner. No challenge there with a Mercedes up into third. Luckily throughout all of that we've got Aston Martin in, Alex Stock in fourth is on. We're going for a run down into turn 1. Don't worry if you missed it the first time round. We're going to be able to see it second time round with an instant replay feature. But one of the McLarens gets a great start, already past James Simmons by the first corner. No challenge there with a Mercedes up into third.
Again, just looking, waiting to pick up the pieces.
Waiting to pick up the pieces. He's got past and Alex Stock. How did he manage that? As we see a spinning AlphaTauri.
And we have Venus all over the back of Alex. He's going to move up. He's going to make the move. He's going to jump to the inside. Coming into the braking zone. He's done it. He is past.
Great stuff there by Venus. We always love to see a blue car as high up as possible. As we see spinning McLaren, the race leader falls down the order he has spun. Turn 3.
Logan is up into P1.
Logan, in the matter of 1 or 2 laps, in the matter of deciding to go and watch the race replay, because I thought we had time to, we've seen Logan go from P5 to leading this race.
I'm wondering if there was contact between the AlphaTauri and McLaren.
You might be right there. It is
because the reason I say that is because Logan was managed to get in front of the AlphaTauri quite easily, which makes me think maybe Tapol had to do a bit of manoeuvring to avoid the spin, or.
And as Tapol did spin, he's already on the back of that Ferrari. I wonder if Logan will make it any easier or harder to get past. I think James Simmons looks like he's got the better measure through the chicanes, but maybe there's just some straight line speed in that Ferrari. We're about to see. I think he'll be past him before they even reach the first corner. He is.
James absolutely draining that battery on the way down.
He's clearly finding a lot of value in track position above anything else. Maybe he can pull out a lead. Maybe he knows something that the others don't, where a lead is much better than following.
And
something.
we have Venus up into P3
on the podium.
What a race so far for him.
Fastest first sector there, set by James Simmons. And not just that, we've got the other. So we had a change in fortune at the start of this race for both McLarens. One now in P8 and the other in P17. It's a strong showing for Ferrari though, with one in second and one in fifth. I think that would
be... they've moved up the grid quite well. I think they've just kind of kept kind of waited for other people to have misfortunes, and like I say, it might not be the most exciting tactics, but it works, and as you can see for them, it's working. And Tadpole has got past Logan.
He has. He did that on the straight last lap. But the other AlphaTauri we're watching, he's on the back of Snipe on the other Ferrari. Willie's having a sublime race. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little bit biased here. There's a lot of love in the commentary box. So, yeah, if I'm honest with you, I'd quite like Will to win this race. I'm not too sure how close he can get, but we're about to find out.
I think as long as he just keeps it consistent, he will be up there by the end. Tadpole now putting a 2.1 second gap between him and P2. He is away. He is straight into that zone.
Are we about to see what Jacob did in Miami and just have the most commanding victory after these first few laps have taken place?
If he can keep it consistent, neat and tidy, no mistakes, and I think that's very possible.
I think you're absolutely right. Just thinking about this reprofiled left-hand corner, how do you think that's changed for overtaking? Has it become easier or harder?
It allows two cars to go side by side a lot easier, but again, the way you have to take it, the racing line kind of tells you to, once you hit the apex, you kind of let the car drift wide, almost onto the green AstroTurf, but obviously not crossing it, to set you up straight for the next corner. But obviously if you go into a corner side by side, you can't do that, so you have to be a bit more cautious, and you will lose time inevitably when trying to perform an overtake going into that corner.
You're right, and we've just seen Thomas Hunter overtake Harrison at P7. He's making his way back up. He seems to like these last to first challenges. I wonder how far he can make it up. I'm not too sure first is obtainable, but I definitely think second is still up for grabs. There's a very small gap. The field spread is not much in this race, so we've got James Simmons, who's got a very commanding lead over second place Logan Watts with a 3 seconds, and then behind him they're all under a second really. For the podium positions, it's anyone's game. Anyone could finish on the podium.
Yeah,
in this race.
anyone in that top 8 has got a chance.
And then you've got 5 seconds down to Josh Wilmot, who is only 5 seconds off running those hard compound tyres. Do you think maybe that isn't easy once everyone else is on the hard compound tyres? That 5 second gap is going to be much more. Do you think you'll be able to climb? I can't even speak on this Sunday evening. Do you think you'll be able to claw that back?
See, it all depends, because if the top 8 go to the hard tyre and he goes to the medium, it changes obviously quite drastically the lap times that between the top 8 and George Russell's going to be putting in quite drastically. So if he can again keep it neat, keep it tidy, keep it consistent, he could probably make his way through the field. And obviously the hard tyres are a bit harder to warm up than the mediums. So
that's very true.
Everyone will be snail's pace coming out of the pits. So it's whoever can deal with a slippery car the best.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we've seen a lot of people fall victim to that actually, where they do try, they've just been racing really hard on these really fast medium tyres, come out on hards and then just spin it in the warm-up.
You have to be patient with the tyre warm-up. If you push too hard, fighting for position, when you just got out of the pits, it's only going to end in tears. So the best thing to do is just to let them warm up, and if you're quicker, you'll go get that position back.
How many laps does that take? How long is that warm-up process?
It's about maybe two or three laps before they're fully comfortable. Like I say, it all depends. If you
sorry to cut you off, we're just about to see Bemis make a move for P2 on Logan Watts. He's got a great run out of that chicane, and his passing for the first corner has even appeared. Great racing there. Sorry, what were you saying there about the tyres in the warm-up phase?
Yeah, if you're sliding around too much, then you'll just start to overheat them, and then with overheating comes more wear, so you just have to bring them in gently. And I think it's about maybe two or three laps before they're fully comfortable.
I'm just doing a replay now of Jordan's move.
Like I say, it all depends if you.
Sorry to cut you off. We're just about to see Bemis make a move for P2 on Logan Watt. He's got a great run out of that chicane move by him. I think we saw Logan get out of shape in the process.
It's about maybe two or three laps.
In the run in the chicane in the tight section, I think we saw him get a bit of oversteer, and then, yeah, it just seems to be that it hampered him down the straight. But yeah, sorry, I say sorry, wrong camera. We just got a glimpse of our faces, so I hope you weren't pulling a face because we accidentally went back on the stream. If we were, please let us know.
Tapol now with a 5-second lead in front of Bemis.
Someone who is making haste though is Thomas Hunter, who is up into 6th and right behind the trailing Ferrari of Sniper. But can I also actually just pay a little thank you for Ferrari for putting a lovely racing yellow livery in the game? Because I don't know about you, Johnny, I think it's quite nice.
I like it. I like the idea, but I wish they could have done kind of like half and half, like exactly what they've done on the shark fin of the Ferrari. But just kind of.
You wanted more yellow.
Yeah, a bit more yellow. Maybe just kind of like the rear end of the car, the rear half, could be in that kind of black and yellow stripe pattern.
I know what you mean. For a special edition, it is quite
very minimal.
Very minimal.
But then also, I feel like all the Italian teams have always done minimal liveries. AlphaTauri didn't do anything massive. They only did. Oh, we have a safety car.
We do have a safety car, and good timing for Thomas Hunter. He put in that move to get ahead of that Ferrari in that left-hander just before that safety car came out. Literally just before. So if that safety car had come out a few seconds before, he'd have been.
Oh, interesting. Logan slowed right down to see if Tapol was going to go in the pits or not. And because he has, he's now jumping in as well. I just went to his camera then, he slowed right down.
Slowed right down? What do you mean? What? How would you not see it?
He came to a complete stop. So almost
dangerous driving? Dangerous driving?
You could count it as dangerous driving. It depends on the gap between him and Alex behind, but like I said, he was almost at a complete stop because he's waiting to see if Tapol was going to go into the pits or not.
There was a big gap, right? Would Tapol not have been in the pits already?
I'm not sure. I don't know what he was doing, but when I went to his camera, he was, very slow. As we can see, Logan is struggling on those cold tyres already.
Luckily, he's got a few laps under a safety car to warm them up. But as we were talking about the move,
very minimal.
Very minimal. Sniper. He had a great.
But also, I feel like all the
outbreaks him. There's a yellow flag actually in sector 2. I wonder if that is legal. And then the safety car comes out.
Didn't do anything massive.
So I think there will be some questions in. I know what you mean. Stewarding afterwards as to whether that was a legal move, because I could see, the little LED boxes as they went into left-hander. I could see that was flashing yellow. So. That'll be an interesting one to see. He hasn't been given a penalty for it, but it'll be interesting to see whether that has been a penalty. And did we also just see Logan go off the road?
It's so satisfying from the camera.
The little LED boxes as they went into left-hander. I could see that was flashing yellow. So. Little instant replay. That'll be an interesting one to see. He hasn't been given a penalty for the grass there under the safe. It'll be interesting to see. He won't want to do that too many times. And did we also just see Logan? He got a bit out of shape whilst he's warming his tyres up. He clearly knew they were going to be very cold, and they caught him out.
Do we have any rules regarding safety car restarts of how close the second car can be to the lead car?
So, in terms of this safety car period, I believe it's whatever the game will allow. We don't want, obviously, we never want dangerous driving. No erratic driving, no starting and stopping. There'll be none of that as per. One thing that we have introduced from our point of view as a league is we don't want drivers, how we saw Max Verstappen do. in a lot of previous racing. There's a lot of hounding going on. We don't want to see that. We want to see single file, pretty much, driving, going into the race restart. Just so that there's no... Because we have a lot of collisions, and they cause 5-second penalties, and you get... Even if you're totally innocent, you still get that penalty. So we want to, you know, completely eradicate that. And, I see some very slow driving going on there between AlphaTauri and the Ferrari. I don't know what is going on there. But yeah, so... Talking about the running order. Oh no, I completely forgot. I didn't answer your question. So when the race restarts, we'd like single file. We don't want any double file going on.
What is going on here?
I have no idea what is going on here.
What is going on here?
Is James Simmons having some issues? He's definitely... There's more, you know, the Formula 1 gap of 10 car lengths. There was definitely more than 10 car lengths there. He's ghosting. I don't know if there's connection issues going on there.
Okay, he's back now.
He's back now. Okay, cool.
I believe so. Although he's not warming his tyres, so I don't know if that is him back.
I don't know if that's him or AI in control. But what 5-second corner cutting gained 1 place. Okay, I don't know what has happened there. That will be reviewed after the race, hopefully. But so yeah, who this will help is Matt Quinton. He was I believe 30 seconds off the pack when it came to before the safety car had begun. And now he's right at the back of it. So we're not just gonna see one McLaren charging through the field. I think we're going to see 2.
Yeah.
But who's out of position? Josh Wilmot is on the mediums, whereas everyone else is on the hard tyres. Do you reckon they'll last to the end?
It's like I mentioned earlier. That was the switch, wasn't it? Everyone goes onto the hards, he goes onto the medium, so he will be faster. If we see Opa is on 13 lap old hards, he didn't pit.
Maybe he's banking on another safety car taking place.
Yeah, perhaps. But no, George Russell now will be praying that other people have failed to warm their tyres up, and he's just going to be quicker straight off the bat.
I think you're right. I think he needs to capitalise in those first few laps when those hards are not on the optimum temperature.
And then if another safety car comes out after his tyres are a few laps old, he'll be golden. I do wonder if anyone's going to go to the end, because like I say, it does stress these tyres a lot.
I think the hards can make it towards the end. I'm not too sure the mediums will. It'll be a tough one for Josh, he's a bit of a tyre whisperer. I do believe he can make them last a very long time, but I'm not too sure he'll be able to make them last this long. At least with good pace. He might be able to make them last, but I think he's going to be very slow by the end. But interestingly, through all of this, we've still got Venus in 3rd.
Yeah, he's just quietly put himself there, hasn't he?
Safety car in this lap. We're going to see Logan and James go head-to-head, which we have seen before, and it was quite the blockbuster hit, really, in Australia. I wonder if we'll see aggressive driving like that again.
It's very risk-reward on these restarts. You can risk it all, or you can kind of hold your nerve, hold your line going into turn 1 and just kind of, you know, again, let the tyres come up to temperature again and get back into the flow of it, because it does ruin it, these safety cars. It does kind of ruin that flow you're in.
And what would your tactic be on a safety car restart? You can go early and try and beat the rest, or you can go right to the line. Like you can absolutely go whenever you like.
If I'm leading, or
well, yeah, if you're leading. But yeah, as we see that we have a great restart by Logan, who's weaving as well, trying to get tyres. But I think if he'd probably have a better advantage of going for an overtake. But we see a lot of weaving. Both Ferraris weaving down that straight, not thinking about track position. They want tyre heat. But leaving a very, very tame first few corners there.
Yeah, very, very tiny.
We see one of the McLarens already past the trailing Red Bull in Revolver Tosselot. But Matt Quinton up into 15th. I wonder how far he can get. Josh and Buck, 9th and 10th, both Mercedes. Linus Stern next to each other. We've got Venus racing currently behind this top 2. But yeah, all of them equidistant. There's not much between them. Very, very close to a spin there by Venus coming out the right-hander.
Yeah, it's always the car gets very unsettled on that exit curve. Very easy to lose traction. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2.
Who has had a little spin in the window? We've got a Red Bull
Revolver.
that is...
Yeah, Revolver has had another spin.
Yeah, as we see Logan, who is on the back. 6/10 to Tadpole. 59% battery. I wonder, can you check for me how much battery Tadpole is on? Oh, as we see out of shit going into the first corner, that'll lose him a lot of time.
Tadpole is on 54% battery and Logan is chasing him with 62%.
62%, yeah, I can see that. He's using it in sector 1 here. He wants to make up that gap that he lost, but there's a 5-second penalty to James Simmons. I think we saw over 5 seconds before the safety car period. Do you think he'll be able to make that time back up again?
Depends how well he can nurse the hard tyres if he's trying to go to the end. But if another safety car comes up, it kind of changes your strategy all again. And with these penalties in this game, what is it, like 5 seconds?
This one is, you can get 3 seconds for corner.
It always has to start playing into your strategy because you always have to think, okay, wherever I finish, it's +5 seconds. So yeah, can you gain 5 seconds through pure pace, or can you gain 5 seconds through pit stops?
As we see Geraghty go around the inside of Sniper there. Great move. DRS is enabled, so we're gonna see some DRS activated overtakes from now. But yeah, I'm gonna replay. On the inside there, Sniper's a bit out of shape and finds it. Alpha is inside.
Pure pace, or can you gain 5 seconds through pit stops?
Great move there.
I bet turn 3 feels so slippery on those hard tyres.
Yeah, we see Josh up into 8th. We've not seen that advantage that we were quite expecting there, but he is right on the back of a Ferrari. But yeah, down on battery as well. He's already down to 20%. I wonder if he has been listening to us and he also knows that the biggest advantage he's going to get is in the early days of this stint.
He's always putting a 1.1 second lead over Logan.
So Logan is out of that DRS now.
With 11% battery left. And Tadpole's got 45, so...
4 more seconds to make. That is going to be the big question there for James.
Well, if he carries on as he is, he'll do it easily. Yeah, providing he doesn't make any mistakes and keeps it clean. Logan with no battery left, it's completely empty.
Thomas Hunter is on the brink of a podium position and the top 3 in this championship. Funnily enough, it's actually James Simmons, I believe, who needs these points the most out of these top 3. I think he's trailing both Logan and Thomas Hunter, so this win will come very keen. It'll come very keen for him if he executes it as he would like to. But yeah, Thomas Hunter out of leading the championship currently in P3. I don't think that would leave him leading it going into Monaco. But yeah, currently right on the back of Venus, who is doing a great job of holding that P3.
Yeah, I'm just watching Thomas's onboards and he seems to be getting a little bit impatient. Keeps missing braking, going a little slightly wide in corners.
I mean, I don't know if you tuned into the Imola Grand Prix that we had, but I think I would get a little bit impatient too if I saw another Alpine in front of me, because he was stuck behind the Alpine for way too long.
Probably started seeing that rear wing in his sleep.
So yeah, that's probably why he's getting a little bit impatient and a little bit frustrated behind that blue car again. Funnily enough, it's always the same one.
He's struggling to get close to him in the DRS.
Maybe yet again running a high aero setup, which is just not working for him in the straights. But sitting pretty right behind them as well in P5 is Alex Stock. We have seen him take a win this season. But yeah, we've not really seen him make an impact on this race. Currently P5, I would say he's in this championship, albeit quite far off. But yeah, he used to be such a Spain specialist as well, winning it last season. I believe he won it in the first season as well. But yeah, 2022 is not coming off well for him.
I think with Alex is you can always rely on him to be consistent. You know, he's not one for mistakes or, you know.
That's true. It might not be raw pace, but it might be just you know, he's always going to be there every race that he does do.
Yeah, I mean, if you can see, he's already on the back of, you know, the two fighting for a podium. So if he just keeps it neat and just observes, just sits back and watches, then yeah, maybe a door's going to open. You can just walk right through it.
You're right. Thomas Hunter almost pushing Jordan through that chicane. I think he's going to be past him, but it might even allow Alex to get in on the action, who's going to try and go down the inside. But Jordan covers it off. Is he going to make it around the outside of turn 2? I believe so. I think Jordan outbroke himself. Luke concedes 2 positions in the matter of 2 corners. Not a great driving there.
Jordan was a little bit late on the brakes there. He kind of had to desperately try and get back onto the...
Right, Thomas Hunter almost pushing
line, but obviously with Alex
through that chicane. I think he's going to be past him, but it might even allow
next,
Alex to get in on the action, who's going to try and go down the inside. But Jordan covers it off. Is he going to make it around the outside of turn 2? I believe so. I think Jordan outbroke himself.
P5 would be
Luke concedes 2 by
definitely
right.
Thomas
Thomas Hunter almost pushing
Ollie is
Jordan through that chicane. I think team principal for that Alpine. But yeah, great to see our usual top 3 back in the top 3. I wonder if Thomas Hunter can make any more though. He's only a second off Logan Watt, who is currently P2 and showing great form right now.
I mean, Logan's a big surprise from Logan to see him all the way up there from, you know,
P7, I believe.
P7, P8. But we say that now, but Hegel. Oh no, Logan was weaving then.
Was that tyre heat weaving, or was that
I'm not
get out
sure.
of my slipstream weaving?
Well, Thomas was quite far back, so I don't think he was close enough to, you know, break the toe so he doesn't get him at the end of the straight. It wasn't that close. Obviously, he's a lot closer now, 5'10". We say that now, but Hegel. Oh no, Logan was weaving then.
Was that tyre heat weaving, or was that
I'm
get
not
out of
sure.
my slipstream weaving?
Well, Thomas had a little bit of a moment, you know.
P7. So Sniper and Josh both fighting for P6 at the moment. I'm going to ride on board with Thomas Hunter because, like you say, he is dragging Alex right onto the back of this battle. So it looks like, you know how I said earlier, P2 and P3 are up for grabs by anyone. I think that party size is getting smaller, and it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be a fight between these 3 for who finish where on this podium. We've got to see Thomas Hunter taking the outside and passing him way before the first corner even comes up. That DRS seeming very powerful there. And are we going to see the same thing from Alex? Is he going to get past? Not right now.
He's got very little battery.
Alex or Logan?
Alex has got very little battery, so we shall see. We've got yellow flag in second.
Yellow flag. We've got McLaren spinning, but not.
Oh, we've got Jinnit. Jinnit is round again. It's such a shame.
A 4.2 second gap between Thomas Hunter and James Simmons. I do think if anyone can pull that gap down, it is going to be Thomas Hunter. He has shown great pace so far, great form this weekend. Maybe. I just to remind everyone again, James has been in this championship fight from the start, and he's shown amazing pace, but he still, to this day, has not picked up a race win in the league.
A bit like George Russell, isn't it?
It is a little bit like George Russell, where yet again, time after time, they've put a great effort into racing, and picked up solid results. but just
Got
kind
a
of
yellow
catch
flag
it.
in sector 2. Jinnit is stopped completely. He's not moving. Okay, now he's moving.
He's waiting for the back markers to go through. Jacob Martin and Revolver toss a lot.
Hope that's not a tactic to get a safety car.
I don't think so.
We're not one for controversies here. We're not accusing anyone.
Well, not. And also, if I was Matt, I would have done the same thing by letting the 2 racing cars pass before rejoining the race circuit.
Yeah.
So I think he did the right thing. But yeah, he was there for a little while, so I hope everything is okay with his car, and he does get it back. He's currently, he's going very slowly. Was there damage that was caused there?
I don't know if he's maybe having an issue with maybe his actual physical steering wheel, or pedals, or
if it was
VR or something.
If it's a lot of spinning, do you feeling he might have picked up rear end damage at any point?
That or floor damage, perhaps. He is going incredibly slowly, isn't he? What is
very slowly
going on here?
Very slowly. Lets the lapped cars through. We've got this gap battle that we're watching. They're going to be coming up and past him very soon. Luckily, we do have Ghost as well, so it should not be an issue. He looks also like an AI is driving. Maybe I think you might be right. I think he might be having real issues of some kind there. But as we see that we have Alex, a DRS train with Logan behind. But Alex, a great run onto Logan. He's not going to get him into the first corner. I have a feeling he might be lining him up again for a second attempt at the next racing lap.
He is very low on battery. But like I say, he needs to really save it over the course of the next lap, just so he has plenty around. He has plenty for the next time around, because Logan can defend with a bit more battery. So
very low on battery, and as we see one Aston Martin, we see the other one in Callum. Callum Vasilevsky is back. He's racing with us, and
Jinnit is round again, and Jinnit has DNF'd.
Okay, we've seen it there, but
he is out.
We see Callum racing with us again. He's racing Rob in the Aston Martin, taking place for that current vacant seat, I believe. I don't think he's going to be. I think he's just a reserve for this one. But yeah, mixed fortunes for the Aston Martin team. We've got one fighting for the podium and one fighting for the tail end of the points.
Rob chucking it around the outside of the Aston Martin.
Sorry, we're back on the main straight. I just want to follow Alex and Logan going down into turn 1. Fortunately for Logan, he's being pulled into play by Thomas's DRS. I think Alex would have him by now easily if that McLaren wasn't just pulling the Ferrari along with him. But weirdly as well, I really would have expected Thomas Hunter to have pulled away from the Ferrari.
Yeah, it's again we don't know what Thomas could be trying to maybe nurse the tyres a bit, and then when he needs to defend, he kind of picks up the pace a little, and then through the tighter sections where it's harder to overtake, probably backs Logan into Alex a little bit, and then again they come to the straight in sector 3, probably picks up the pace a little bit again.
I think you're right, but this is a great camera angle demonstrating just how close these two drivers are. Oh, we lose it. I could have done with that going down the main straight to see how close we could have got that Aston Martin to the Ferrari. But it looks like this lap has been a great one for Logan. He's right on the back of the McLaren. Maybe instead of a defence, he's going to go on the offence on the McLaren in this straight. He looks like a little bit too far back, but I don't know how much battery both of them have in store.
They've both got the same amount of battery, so Logan gaining, he's gaining. Is he going to manage to do it before turn 1? No, he's not.
As well, no penalties. Apart from the one we saw through the safety car and Shakes, we haven't seen many penalties this race, which you were expecting to see quite a few of.
Yeah, I was expecting to see more of those, and I am surprised. I mean, unless people pick up, 10 seconds worth of penalties each between now and the end of the race, that is a big surprise.
We've got our man Will coming up on a gang of cars here, a lot of traffic. It looks to be that those mediums are wearing off, and there's actually a bit of a queue behind Josh Wilmot here. In fact, behind Sniper. I think Sniper's the front of this queue. Maybe he's just got past the Mercedes, but it looks like Book will be wanting to come through anytime soon. Hopefully, Josh won't make that too hard for his teammate. It is his debut after all, but Will, on the back, on the tail end of these points, is looking to pick off any that are left for him. I would just actually like to say, great job by our debutants. We've got Buck in P8 and Oka in P13, and they have drove, especially Buck at the start. He was on the podium for a large part of it, and
a lot of
great racing.
Yeah, great racecraft from both of them.
It looks like he's about to make his move on his teammate. I wonder how hard or easy he's going to make this. 3 wide, going into turn 1. It looks like Josh. Oh, very polite there by Josh. I was expecting a lot more aggression going into there. It was almost like after you. No, after you.
There was an opportunity there.
Looks like he's about to,
like you say, it was
make his move on.
Very well managed.
I wonder how. Very well managed.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think Josh was well within 3 wide going into turn 1. It looks like Josh a little bit wide, but no, he didn't. I think he. Oh, very polite there by Josh. I was expecting a lot more. And yeah. Great racing by the 3 of them there. That could have quite easily become a race-ending incident.
Tapol is very, very close to being penalty-free.
10th with 5 laps remaining.
He needs to make a 10th in the next 5 laps, and then he'll be clear for the race win.
As you say that, he goes through with a fastest lap. Yeah, great drive for him. I think it would be an absolute travesty to go this far into the championship without a race win, given the position he's in this championship.
Yeah, I think it would be a bit of a shame that he loses the race win over a penalty.
But it will also, if Thomas Hunter can't win, he can't make that time back. It does mean that he will only have won anti-clockwise race circuits, as I mentioned in the last broadcast.
That's interesting. That's an interesting stat.
It's a very interesting stat, which means we've got to wait all the way for Baku for him to win a race again.
You better keep track of that.
Well, we'll keep track of that, don't you worry. As we see Will on Josh, who only ever seems to be going backwards now. He's on those medium tyres. I think I was right with saying they just don't look like they've got the grip anymore. Book's got past him. Will's about to get past him.
Yeah, 16 laps. 16 laps in. Yeah, they're going to be starting to show their age a little bit.
Yeah, I think with such a long pit lane as well, it's not worth the risk of going for another pit stop. Even if you put softs on now, you wouldn't make that time back.
No, definitely not. This track's quite hard to overtake on as it is. I mean, poor Alex. I mean, he's sat in the same position the entire race.
P4, yeah, he's a very regular. He's a bit of a regular type P4 spot this season. But Buck, that's been the fastest lap of the race in P7. Remember as well,
yeah.
You get a fastest lap for that. Sorry, you get fastest lap. Of course, you get fastest lap. You get an extra point for that fastest lap that you do. So yeah, very important there. As we see, a 3-second time penalty picked up by Callum, who's currently running in P11. I don't think that'll affect him too much as he's currently outside of the points. But yeah, great racing. Did you see that racing we saw there between Will and Josh? The side-by-side action to turn 1 and 2.
Incredible, very respectful. And that's what we love to. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to encourage.
Some of our most experienced drivers there. As we see Buck with the fastest lap, he's all over the back of that trailing Ferrari. I wonder if we'll see him put it in a top 6 spot. I think top 6 will be the best he can do. He's quite far off the Alpine still, but showing great pace to get past the Ferrari sometime soon.
Tapol being held up slightly by some back markers, but now he's on his way again.
Crucially as well, he's lost those tenths that he needs for a race victory.
Yeah.
I'm eagerly biting my nails watching this timer go up and down because he deserves the win.
I think, like I say, he's got incredible pace, incredible racecraft. really nice guy. So, like I said, it would be a really big shame to see his race win get taken away because of a penalty.
A bit of a.
Was it a black and white penalty, or was it?
I don't know. I don't really know what happened. A bit of a. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll have to be reviewed after the race.
I mean, if it's black and white, he's got incredible pace, incredible racecraft. He's going to have to. Really nice guy. So, he's going to have to live with it. It would be a really big shame to see his race win get taken away. If it is. A bit of a. Was it a black and white penalty, or was it?
I don't know.
I've had some penalties in this game from doing nothing wrong. I've been disqualified once from following the safety car procedure.
You must have been breathing wrong or something. You must have been doing something wrong.
The delta, you know what it says, keep below the delta, and then it says catch the safety car. It was flickering between those, so I was like speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, because it just kept flicking between the two, and then it just said disqualified, and I was like, oh okay.
No. As we do say, oh no, a Red Bull has spun it again into turn 3.
Is that Revolver?
Unfortunately, it is. But the closest battle we have on track at the moment is the battle for P6 and P8. So we'll stay on board with those. We were watching Buck get past Sniper in the Ferrari a couple of laps ago. But yeah, I wonder whether we can recover that position. Also, Will doing a smashing job there. P9 right behind P8. With only 2 laps remaining, do you think he can get past?
I think he will, because like I said, the tyres on that Mercedes must be crying. They're done. They're tapping out. Am I seeing that correctly? There are 2 Red Bulls on soft tyres.
2 Red Bull. No, 1 Aston Martin.
Sorry, one Aston Martin and 1 Red Bull. What's the purpose behind that? Strange.
Last lap dash, they want to steal that fastest lap from Buck. They are so upset that Buck got the fastest lap. He's showing up all the old boys how it's done. And
that's Alex's tactic.
Team orders. We've seen great team play between Aston Martins in the past championships. I wonder if he's done it here again. But James Simmons has left the session on the final lap of the race. That gap is coming down.
No.
Are we seeing some difficulties here on connection?
Is this actually?
Oh
no, that's such a shame. That's such a shame for him.
I'm speechless.
The
win looked like it was on.
The win was on. He was 5.2 seconds ahead.
But also, not just that, he's losing that gap to Alex and Logan. I think the best he's going to finish is 4th place.
Come on, Thomas, don't do it. Don't pass him. He's going to do it.
Sorry, I'm going to ride on board. He has passed him for the lead, which means we'll see him come around the final corner to completely prove my theory wrong and win his first clockwise race circuit of the season, with James Simmons, I believe, his Ghost finishing 2nd, but with the time penalties actually finishing 5th. Actually finishing 5th, with Logan 2nd and Alex 3rd. Very unexpected there.
I
was not expecting to see that on the final lap.
I was not expecting that either. That is such a shame. That is such a shame.
I wonder what happened there with his... Do you think it was a connection issue?
I will go into our pit lane and try and find out for you.
Tell you what, that will have quite an effect on the championship. But yeah, so our finishing order is Thomas Hunter in 1st, followed by 2nd, a 2.2 second gap. And then Alex stopped to round out your podium position. Then Venus, great job. Round of applause there in the Alpine for P4. P5, James Simmons. P6, a great debut race is Buck. Unfortunately, I've lost the leaderboard. But yeah, Thomas Hunter with a win. Exceptional performance from him. Great driver. So do you remember he spun? I don't think he was expecting to come back with a race win. Our driver of the day, Jake Smalls. I mean, I think our real driver of the day is Will, the member in the commentary box. What a great race. Unfortunately, filming here. We're going to watch the podium. Their avatar's going to have a great time spraying some champagne, the Ferrari in the yellow. But we're then going to get these drivers into the podium interviews to see what they think, because I don't think any of them would have expected a position jump the way that it happened.
No, I don't think Alex was expecting to get on that podium.
I don't think Aston Martin was fast enough, unfortunately.
No, they looked like they were, steady paced, but nothing amazing. But just proves that absolutely anything can happen in the last couple of laps. But yeah, such a shame for Tadpole. I was really gunning for his first win there.
Me too, he fully deserves it. But I'm going to finish where we left off before, because we had Sniper in P7, Will, our man in the commentary box, who's not here in the commentary box, but he should be, and hopefully will be soon, P8. Josh, P9, Jake, 10, rounding out the points, and then the non-points finishers are Rob Arnold in 11th, then Opa, then Vasilevsky, and then Rob Toslot, Jacob Martin, Matt Quinton, who DNF along with Harrison Davies. Right, what did you make of that? You're back on camera, so no funny faces, no. Be careful what you say. You're fully.
I thought that was a closer race than what I thought it was going to be. From P2, running back down the order. But yeah, what a drive! Apart from the unfortunate ending, what a drive from Tadpole. Absolutely, commanded that lead, and didn't make any mistakes. And I feel so sorry for the guy if he had internet issues or whatever it might be.
Yeah, me too. I'm just looking. I'd quite like to get some drivers in for podium interviews. So let's just see if they're ready. Actually, let's just see. Right. Hopefully they'll be joining that chat soon. So, in fact, we've got one of them here, so we'll bring them into the call. Our race winner, Thomas Hunter, with an incredible performance. We saw a great qualifying by both McLarens, actually, P2 and P3. A close margin between Jinnit and yourself of 1,000, which was pretty incredible. And then we saw you spin. Did you expect to come back with the win after that?
No, not really. I was expecting to. I was hoping to be on the podium nonetheless, but that qualifying was mental, and then the Ferraris did the exact same thing with their 1,000 as well.
Oh, did they? We didn't even catch that.
Yeah. I was pretty smacked at that, but no, I'm really happy nonetheless. I think Tadpole's penalties, I'm sure they'll explain what happened, but I think they'll probably be removed.
Okay.
Okay. So, but apart from that, I'm really chuffed with my performance apart from the spin.
Just a quick question. When you saw Tadpole was ghosted, was there any remorse to overtake him, or did you?
I'm gonna say none in the slightest. But I did. We all said what a shame, but then I was still pushing at the time. So I was happy that it happened, obviously. But
that was definitely a what a shame with a tongue in the cheek, I think.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Well, great performance there. Well done to you. I think that extends your championship lead going into the future. But as we go on to Monaco, we go on to our Monaco specialist actually winning over the last 2 seasons, Alex Stopp, who finished P3. I don't think he was expecting a podium finish here with having everything that went on with James Simmons. But how did you feel? How was that race for you, Alex?
Yeah, it was good. The ending was good, but the first stint was a nightmare. As in, I had the time trial tyre pressures on, so my tyres were like 104 degrees, 103 degrees. Therefore, I had like no pace at all. I was in like full tyre saving mode just to try and keep myself from spinning out. But the second stint was easier and hard.
That explains a lot. We were actually talking in the commentary box about you weren't making your impact on the race that we kind of thought you would do, and that does explain a lot of things. We also heard Thomas talking about what a shame, and about James Simmons with the unfortunate circumstances that he came under. Did you have the same reaction?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it happened to me, I'd be gutted and heartbroken. So, yeah, no, you have to feel sorry for that.
Yeah, we were teasing that it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek with the what a shame. But no, all fair sportsmen here. So yeah, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, great race. We saw you coming with a lot of battles. We saw 3 wide, I think, at some point going down the main straight with Ferraris and McLarens. And I think we saw 6 different constructors in the top 6 as well. So a great result there. Well done. We're going to bring our third man, but who actually finished second. We've got Logan Watt. How was your race, Logan?
I feel like it was a bit uneventful, to be honest. Somehow I managed to get into the lead in the first stint, just car up the road in front of me. But
I mean, so as a little from our side, we went watching the race, and we've got this new instant replay feature that we've been trialing. And I obviously saved the race start because we wanted to have a look at it, and I was waiting for a good point to show it, and genuinely the point at which I showed it was when you went from P5 to P1. So we missed all of your action on the track. I'm really sorry about that. But
that's alright.
But yeah, it was incredible. We came back to the action and you were in P1. So yeah, people must have been driving off left, right and centre. What were you thinking at those stages?
Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting one because I kind of thought, alright, okay, the wind's on somehow. But I got Alex just coming out of the downhill left-hander in the second sector before you start climbing back uphill again.
Yeah.
Can't remember what turn it is, but I got Alex coming out there because he made a mistake going in, and then the 3 cars in front of me, I can't remember. The Hegel and Tadpole were 2 of them. Can't remember who the third was, but all 3 of them just spun off the road in front of me. So
easy picking.
That's how that happened.
And one thing as well that we didn't, unfortunately, with Real F1, they do the qualifying on the Saturday and the race on the Sunday. We don't have that luxury to talk to in between sessions. I would have loved to have spoken to you after that qualifying session, because I don't think P7 would have been where you wanted to line up on the grid.
No, it was a bit grim, to be honest.
What was the issues that you were having?
Well, the first lap, I thought, okay, that's a sound lap, that'll do for now. And then, we'll gradually get quicker. Then I invalidated the second lap, and then I invalidated the third lap, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't going to plan. And then the fourth lap just wasn't good enough. I didn't even go quicker, so the first lap was my quickest one. So I think in an ideal quali I probably could have shaved another 4/10 off, but didn't happen.
Good stuff. And your race start as well, you must have been happy to go from P7 to P5 pretty quickly, seeing the McLaren not do so well.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Jonny off the line, but it benefited me. And then I was side by side with my teammate Sniper in turn 3. Which was a little bit hairy, but he was good enough to let me just go. And then, it was the hunt was on from there. It was like a DRS train in the entire first stint. It was great fun.
Good stuff. Okay, well that wraps up our race at Spain. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week, I believe, with the Monaco Grand Prix. Hopefully we'll have our race highlights and Hotlap videos here for you. I'm Liam. This is Jonny. I hope you have had a great experience, and we'll see you next week.